We need to carefully measure and outline the doorway right here on the moss. This will be the main entrance. The first step is marking the entrance. I'm using chalk to outline the perfect oval right here on the mossy bark. We need to establish a perfectly level line along the center of the log before we can even think about the cuts. All right, that's the first beam down. We're building the subfloor directly on the gravel base to ensure proper drainage and stability. Ensuring a perfectly level subfloor is crucial for the stability of the entire structure. Securing the floorboards is crucial for stability. We're using these long screws to anchor them directly to the log base. We're starting to frame out the interior now, securing the studs directly to the hollowed wood. It's really starting to feel like a home in here. The next step is installing these wall studs, which will give the structure its shape and support the interior walls. To fit the curve of the log, we have to meticulously hand-cut the drywall. It's slow, but the precision is worth it. And that is the final piece of the ceiling. We are officially dried in. This cedar box fits perfectly right here, adding much needed storage to the main room. And that's the first cabinet door installed. The soft close hinges work perfectly, which is essential in a small space like this.
All right, let's get this hinge secured. Once the screw bites, we move to the next one and then we can test the swing.
With the shelves up, this kitchen is really starting to feel like home.
Securing the shelf here gives us much needed storage in the main cabin. Now that's solid.
All right, the fridge is finally in. That was a tight fit, but it really completes the kitchen area.
All right, getting this compression fitting tightened up. You want it snug, but don't over tighten the PVC or it'll crack.
Here we are connecting the PEX to the copper sink drain. Making sure this is tight is crucial for preventing leaks down the road. And with a final twist of the basin wrench, the faucet is secure. It's amazing how this copper basin transforms the space.
All right, getting these PVC pipes connected is crucial. Just a little twist, and that should seal it tight. All right, that's the final connection for the P-trap. Just making sure this nut is tight so we don't have any leaks down the road.
Getting the plumbing finalized is a huge step. We've got a steady flow now inside the log, and thankfully no leaks underneath the sink.
And with this small electric heater installed, the cabin stays cozy even when it's misty outside.
The goal was to prove that resourceful living doesn't mean sacrificing comfort. I think we finally achieved that here in the kitchen.
All right, getting this little heater installed should make the log nice and cozy for the winter months.
The next step is securing the trim around the entrance, crucial for weatherproofing this unique structure. Securing the main junction box now, we want everything flush against the cedar wall before we run the wires.
All right, the wiring is complete. Now we carefully seat the outlet into the box. Now that the connections are secure, we can push the outlet into the box and test the switch. Perfect, we have power. Secure the coat hook firmly into the structural rib. You want this tight enough to hold heavy gear.
It took weeks of work, but the interior is finally finished. I'm really happy with how this turned out.
The first step is securing any area. Using this heavy-duty tripod allows us to cook directly over the main fire, maximizing the heat.
Securing the solar lines requires a solid crimp before locking them into the terminal block. A quick zip tie keeps the interior neat.